We'll be following Willie more and more. Back in the NRL, there's Willie Mason.
I've forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie had the Panthers looking at his imposing frame.
I'm a 25-minute man. Oh, you got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
Welcome to episode 16. You decided no headphones today, have you?
No, I'm done with them.
You don't like them?
I'm done with them.
Letting
Yeah.
those beautiful ears out.
Yeah,
into
I
the
have
world.
to. It just fucking, I get real, like, I don't know, like in the last sort of 10, 20
Claustrophobic.
minutes, I'm like, fucking ears are sore. I'm done. And I don't need them. You
don't.
need them. You're the host. I'm just sitting here. I'm listening. I just got to say some shit and that's it.
It's funny because
How do you feel? Have you taken them off and tried it? It's just like a normal conversation, right? I can hear too much.
It is a normal. The only problem is when
You have
like,
to hear
I
the
can
prompts.
hear.
You have to hear the prompts
Yeah.
and all that sort of shit.
Because I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a professional. I look professional.
I am a professional.
Neither of us are professional. And I'll tell you what, Will, I read with great joy this week that some boffin at the Bureau of Meteorology, La Nina's gone.
It's gone now.
It's gone. They said it was going to be here all year, and now it's warm. Now it's actually a nice day.
Summer back. When's summer again?
Now it's La Nina. It's the other way around.
There's no winter.
How was your weekend? Good.
It was solid. It was fun. Had a couple of birthdays on, a couple of farewells.
Read a lot of books.
luncheons.
Read a lot of books.
It was just solid.
Solid.
Just after like the Rennie weekend, I thought, you know what? I might just chill. And then I just had a lot on. And I went, you know what? This will do. And now I'm in Perth tomorrow. Till Monday. You know what I mean? But I'm there there's a lot of work on. I'm over there for a lot of work.
Why are you looking at me as like
I'm
begging
trying to
me to
justify
believe?
it? No.
Begging me to believe it. Okay.
But I got to be sharp. I got to be doing talks and luncheons and shit. So it'll be a few beers and everything, but it won't be as crazy as I would expect.
Like, was it,
But it's there. Like I'm there. Like I'm in Perth, so like I can do what I want any day.
You can do what you want any day.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know, but I don't. I choose not to.
Do you know what as well? Last week you were like, I am this weekend.
I was
I'm not.
done.
And then you sent me a message on Sunday suggesting that you weren't probably.
But you had a
feeling
drink on
the best.
Thursday, so you're an alcoholic.
I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Honestly, it was my dad's birthday on Sunday. That doesn't count. Happy birthday, Dad. But yeah, the rest of them, I didn't feel the best on Monday.
You just start money
I woke up and Anna goes, she goes, you all right? I go, yeah. She goes, you don't look all right. That's nice. I've been on the piss for 4 days straight.
I don't expect to.
I also...
I don't expect to.
On Sunday, when you're on day 3 and then we went up and coached Finn's footy and we were playing against a side. I won't say who it is, but it's in the northwest of Sydney. And I've nearly got into a stink with back on the sideline.
What?
One of our kids get injured and he goes, they're good. It's like we're in front with 5 to go.
Question like the
And he's like,
credibility of the injury?
gamesmanship. I go, they're 12-year-old kids, mate. I go, are you serious? And then I had the moral high ground too for about...
It was a proper argument.
Proper argument, like in front of everyone too. And I'm sitting there going, listen, mate, I go, they're kids. It's kids' sport. And I had the high ground, like I definitely had the high ground. And then I just go, have a fucking look at yourself.
Oh, you ripped that
mate,
out.
I went straight.
And you went
then
straight to Toronto West.
And then I started clapping at him. Oh, it was good. Really supportive for the kids. Excellent. I said, though, at the end of the game, I said, look, I'm sorry for the way I behaved. That I said it's, and I said, but I was just sticking up for my boys and they all gave me a cheer. And I thought, yeah, well played.
Yeah, well done.
In reality, I was just abusing some rando on the sideline.
He shouldn't be questioning young kids, man.
Gamesmanship.
12 years old gamesmanship. Is there gamesmanship at 12-year-old? Shut up, mate. Whoever you are.
12 years old. And it was a head injury too. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, big guy. Speaking of gamesmanship, was the Lachlan Illias hook, was it necessary? Was it a little kick in the backside for a young player in his first year? Was it necessary? Was it harsh?
I'm not sure. I looked at that game and I was just like, wow, they are so diabolical, South. I haven't seen this sort of performance in years from that team. Could have pointed the finger at a lot of players. I don't think it would have done any good to grab a senior player off or anything like that. So it was the lowest hanging fruit, really. Young kid, played 10, 12 games or whatever it is. He wasn't leading him around. His defence was pretty bad. He wasn't playing his best game, and it sort of warranted it if you wanted to go down that alley, or you just leave him on There's two options, obviously. Leave him on and let him try and play himself out of bad form, and just try and contribute in the second half and see what you got. Or you hook him, you know that he's on notice. You don't have.
Send a message.
You do not have the number 7 on your back guaranteed every single week, regardless of your performance. So that's the message that he wants to send. You don't own the 7. You're not Adam Reynolds. You're not you're not in that book where you can play that bad and get away with it.
Yeah.
So it is a good message to send. Depends how this young kid reacts to it. Is he going to be a man, and just be a boss and just come back and kill it and be like, yeah, I deserve that. I'm going to come back and play my best game for South and for the rest of the year, or is he going to sook about it? That's when you got to know.
He didn't look like he was sooking.
I think he's a pretty even keel kid.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the coach thought, I can actually hook him and he'll deal with it. But you don't know. I don't think that kid's ever been hooked. So you'll see the next couple of weeks and that, just see how he reacts as a person. That's the difference between good coaches know who to hook, when to hook, and that's the difference between knowing what sort of person they are.
Because if you think about him being a first-year coach as well, just say he hooked Cody Walker, for example. I'm not saying that he should have, but I'm just saying if he hooks a senior player with that standing in the club,
that's what I said,
and he kicks stones, and then all of a sudden, I hate the term losing the dressing room.
The ripple effect is massive.
If he loses Cody Walker, he loses the dressing room. If he loses Lachlan Illias, Illias has still got to prove himself. So it's probably
100%. I
smart
think
move.
it is a smart move. That's what I said. You're not going to hook a senior player in that position because Cody Walker, Cam Murray, all those sort of blokes, they'll come back next week or the next game they play for South and probably be the best players on the field. Where the message is, you aren't that dude yet.
Yeah.
So I want the next game or to finish the year off in top form. I think it was ballsy, and I think it'll work.
I think the other thing South have probably got to be a bit careful with at the moment is, I think Walker and Latrell Mitchell are off contract, and with the whole hoo-ha with, Cody Walker hasn't been playing.
Contract?
Yeah, so they reckon at the time that when Cody Walker was probably the best 5'8" in the comp, apart from Munster last year, they let Reynolds walk, thinking they would need the money to upgrade Cody Walker.
Wow, I thought they signed Cody Walker for 4 years.
Nah, so now they're in a situation. Cody Walker hasn't had his best year, but they can't go. You can have a 1 year deal. Yeah.
The Dolphin might offer you 1.3.
1.10.
You know what I mean? Cody's worth that.
Yeah. When he's playing well. It'll be interesting when Mitchell comes back and takes a bit of pressure off him because
he does need help, man. Cody can't do it all.
No.
You need help from your 7. You need your help from your fullbacks, centres, wingers, everything. Forwards need to be dominating. Cody's that sort of player. Most 5'8s are like that. They can't just get the game. If your forwards are getting dominated, I don't care who you are. You don't dominate the game.
No.
That's how good defences are in these days. You can't just get the ball, get it out wide, and then you score a try. No, man. So everyone needs to be doing their job.
Well, in what's probably pretty good news for Canterbury, actually, because obviously the Dally M interim coach of the year is underway at the moment, and Mick Potter's well in front, 2 from 2. But Brett Kamali, he's not in front. He's
that was the battle for it.
The Tigers really, they're trying to find a coach, right? And so you're saying our club's struggling badly, and we want you to come and coach. Cameron Serrato, you're the best young coach in the game. Apparently, you come to us. Come to us. And then they dish up, dropping Luke Brooks 2 weeks out from the next game and then leaking it to the press.
I cannot fathom that.
Then they signed Tyrone Peachy at $750,000 deal and then drop him to reserve grade. He's playing Reggie's
now
and
they want
go,
to flick him,
you can go and look somewhere else. And then... Well, we'll go into that later, but just looking at those two things, if you're a coach, you're not going near this joint, are you?
No.
Why would you?
No. You need runs on the board, and you need to start building momentum like the Bulldogs are. That's what if you're an up and coming coach or a coach who's looking for a job, if you go to that team, if you go to that coach and go, come and coach us, he's going to give you a direct no. Instead of, maybe I've got something to work with here. I see some potential. I'll just say like a Wayne Bennett or a Craig Bellamy or someone was off contract and they were looking to see if they had something there. If you're looking at the Tigers or if you're looking at the Bulldogs or you're looking at the Warriors, all these interims that are in there at the moment, you're going to probably pick the Bulldogs for the upside, aren't you?
For sure.
Understanding that Kikau and Marnie and, you still got Pangai and all these Burton and all these other kids and Fox, you still got something to work with where it seems like a bit of a debacle over at the Tigers still.
And Duai coming out and saying he wants to play 5'8" as well, it does put a lot of pressure on.
Who said that?
Adam Dewey.
Yeah.
He's gone, I want to play in the halves, and then you got Hastings who you're not going to drop. I don't know, maybe Hastings walks and they're left with Luke Brooks still.
Anyway, sucks to be them.
The other thing as well, just quickly, there was a podcast. I think the bloke that does the podcast, he listens to our show, I think. So if you're listening to this, mate, well done. But he's managed to G up the CEO or the chairman of the Tigers, and he sent some pretty...
Just give us a little bit of what the CEO, what his rebuttal was.
So he's asked him to go on the podcast. I'm never going to ask him after this little abuse. He's never coming on this one. What could possibly convince me to go on your podcast given the vitriol and abuse you have directed to the West Tigers? That's a good one. We're not immune to criticism. It sounds like you are. He says, as to your kind invitation to appear on your podcast, passive-aggressive.
Most passive-aggressive.
I decline so that you can comfortably continue venting your spleen, which obviously appeases your need to be relevant. So
and this goes on for a while, and it's petty, it's funny, but then it's just like, who's this coming from? And you're like, that's the CEO of the West Tigers. Then you're
that's a bloke signing a coach.
Oh shit.
That's a bloke signing a coach.
That's the guy making all the decisions for your club. So when you look at it like that, depends if you're a fan or not. You know what I mean? You go, fuck, how's he making decisions for the club? You know what I mean? He's sitting there arguing with the dude who does podcasts, and what he wants to do is just like, obviously he hammers the Tigers all the time.
Easy to hammer.
Bit weird.
I feel like he's, like he's a very successful businessman, this bloke. You would think maybe
he's fucking had enough. I think it's petty. I think it's pretty funny, but then I just look at his what job that he has.
Yeah.
You can't really you can't be doing that shit.
No, you can't. Although you can.
You can.
And he has.
Maybe he's just gone, you know what? I don't give a fuck about what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
You're going to cop this, because he's thought about that.
There was about 5 drafts. Do you reckon he showed it to the missus?
Oh, get on the net if you've got a chance and read the whole thing. I don't know where you got it from.
Well, he's leaked it, this bloke. How did he get the phone number in the first? How's this bloke?
So the podcasters leaked it.
Their podcast leaked it straight away, as if you wouldn't. You get
I know.
abuse like that. But how do you get the bloke's phone number in the first place?
Hope it's not a geo.
Maybe they were friends before this. They're not friends now.
Anyway.
So we normally go into the review style thing. There's only one game in town this week. Well, there's more than, I shouldn't say that. There's more than one game, and we will talk about that because...
Oh, it's international round.
It's international round as well. So obviously we'll go to Origin in a sec. Let's start with the New Zealand Tonga game.
Because I watched so much footy.
I also missed a lot this week. I think we'll be back. We're back and better than ever next week. But New Zealand and Tonga. New Zealand are strong favourites here, which, that Tongan side's pretty good.
Well, if you have a look at the spine of the New Zealand side, I think that's what they're going off. You've got Brandon Smith at 9, Jerome Hughes at 7. I'm not sure who the 6 is.
Dylan Brown.
Yeah, Dylan Brown. And then you got, what's the name? Joseph Manu at 1. You know what I mean? They got a really good side. Then you got both Bromwich brothers. You got Sofa Solomona. You've got a fair side.
It's a good side.
They got a fair side. So I look at the Tongan team and go, well, just say if we had a Talakai and Tupou, would be a lot stronger. I think we'll be way better in a World Cup system than a one-off test. Do you know what I mean? But over there, apparently 85% of the tickets are all Tongan because it's at Mount Smart.
Yeah, remember when they filled it? That was the best.
The atmosphere is going to be so good. The emotion's going to be good. Seeing both Huckers and the Sippy Tau, it's going to be mental. And I just think we'll play off a lot of emotion and we'll come out and obviously do our best. But I think New Zealand has a little bit more class. As I said, just say with the Dylan Browns and the Jerome Hugheses, and they're top 3 in their position. Like Brandon Smith, and you got Joseph Manu, arguably one of the best backs in the world at the moment.
For sure.
So it's going to be a big task for Tonga. But then you have a look at our boys. You got, I think Andrew Fafita's back in the squad. You got Fanua Blake. You got Takayaho, Tupanua. I mean, David Fafita probably in a World Cup squad. You got Olakawatu, Taumalolo. They're just names of Kalomatangi, Pangai Jr. Do you know what I mean? You've got some animals there, but then you look at the core of it, and you go, Havili plays off the bench a little bit, mainly plays loose forward when he comes on, a bit of 9, but he's always obviously he's a good 9. the 7, the young Armoni kid, and you got Stags at 6.
Yeah.
And I think the young kid who plays for Manly, I think he's fullback.
Yeah, cooler.
So they've never really played together. Katoni Staggs never played 6. If you chuck a Talakai in there and a Tupou on that left edge with Kaloa Matangi on that left edge or someone like that, World Cup stage, and then the right edge with Olakau'atu and like even a Pangai Jr. and Takayahos and all those names and Taumalolos, then you'll talk. You know what I mean? And a bit more, a few more combinations with Armoni finishing his first year, and if Staggs is really playing 6, understand how to play 6. Like, then you're talking. You're going to have a decent side. Katoa and all these blokes, man, they're really good. So I think we'll build into that World Cup, the Tongan team, where New Zealand might just be off those combinations with the Bromwich brothers always playing together, Hughes, Smith. They play together all the time. They played in the Maori teams all the time. But they play at a club level all the time. So that might get them over.
Yeah.
If they don't turn up, they'll get dusted, but New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure.
And they'll be looking for that. They'll be trying to send a message to Tonga like, hey, we're still tier 1 and you're here. And Tonga's like, fuck you. We beat Australia in our last test and we'll take you out as well. And then you've got this tribal shit going on, man. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be that'll be one of the highlights of the whole round. I honestly think it should be Tonga versus Samoa, but New Zealand need a test as well. And who's that next best? It's Tonga.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be awesome just to see that whole Red Sea and everything like that. All the players with so much emotion haven't represented their countries for what? Just say 2 or 3 years. It's a long time.
I honestly hope that they don't, because I love seeing these blokes that have, like, because Tony Staggs gets dropped from Origin and he's playing for Tonga. If they move up, Tonga clearly are a tier 1 nation, right?
But that'll
if
suck
they move
you
them
can't
up,
have them from they can't do that because it'll ruin the international game.
Yeah, so they can't do it.
They've got to be careful with that because if you have a look at if Junior Paulo, Crichton, To'o, Luai all drop, if they can't go back and play for Samoa, or if they don't make the Australian side, then they have to, you know what I mean? Like, it'll ruin the international game.
It cheapens the game. So hopefully there's a bit of common sense showing there. But
Probably
no, it probably isn't. We should run everything.
Yeah.
So what have we got here? We've got Samoa versus the Cook Islands.
That'll be a touch-up.
That'll be a touch-up.
But you got to think of if they get Zane Tedovano and Dylan Napper and all that in the World Cups, it'll be a bit different because they've got experience and all that kind of stuff. You just need experienced halves. They've got some more players, but they'll get hammered. It'll be first 20 minutes you're playing with a lot of passion. You just do your war dance, all that kind of stuff, and then the cream will rise to the top because Samoa's got a stack full of NRL players.
Yeah.
They're stacked. And all the other guys are still playing for New Zealand, some in New Zealand, some in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And Queensland. Throw Big Papa back there. Papa, Tino, Paulo in your pack.
Yeah.
Crichton, Luai, like even Dylan Brown, Simone, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, Matt Parrish, calling you.
He's Dalian interim international coach of the year. I think the other thing, Cook Islands, they're traditionally not as strong, and I get that,
Yeah, it's just good that they're out there
but
on the
good on
international
them.
scene. That's
well,
it.
Katie Ford, our good friend Katie, her brother Jono, he's he's gone back to the UK, I think, but no, he would be a good addition to that side. Papua New Guinea against Fiji. Bags being a physiotherapist after that game.
God. Oh. Fiji's stacked.
It's
but
good
I don't care. Like I don't care where you are in your life and you've been killing it. If you play against Papua New Guinea, I've been fortunate enough to dodge New Guinea my whole career because I've heard horror stories. You know what I mean? They all come out, and if you're playing against Australia or whatever, like if the Kumals are playing against you, you've played in a war. So the Fijians, they're big boys, but these like New Guineans, they'll be going at legs and hips and just like they will die for their country. The amount of passion that they will be showing. I think Fiji should win. On paper, they have a gun team, but I don't care when you're playing the Kumals, man. They're going to come at you.
You'd almost rather be up by 6 rather than be up by 30 because if you're up by 30, then they're just coming at you trying to kill you.
It doesn't maesmatter.
They're like, I don't care. I'm just going to kill someone.
From the first minute to the 80th, they don't stop.
I am just going to.
So if you're Fiji, you looked at that and you went, could I drop out of this and just play in the World Cup?
Hamstring.
I'm tearing my hammy on Friday.
Twinge, Friday
Captain's run. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, Coach.
Ruben Cotter style.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the State of Origin. Sunday night in Perth. What do you think about Sunday night in Perth? Well, I mean, I don't mind in Perth, but what about...
I'm going to go to fucking Perth tomorrow.
You'll love it, please. But what do you reckon about the Sunday
Just
night game?
over it, you know?
Oh, I just hate it. Oh.
It's cold. I checked the fucking climate. It's freezing.
Till you send me a photo of you having airport beers.
Yeah.
Okay. So...
I'm just trying to lay low. Just trying to play it down. Just like, I'm just going to go there and just work.
Just because you
work
say
for like
it doesn't
2 hours
make
a
it,
day.
Just because you say it doesn't make it true.
I'll bet I don't drink once.
What would you like to bet? I would like $1.01 that you do drink, and I would like
Fair squad going. Like, because of all of us have retired and we're all doing like gigs and events and all that kind of stuff, all separated. But like, there'll be one time we're all at one event, and that's when I'm gonna have to really draw in some strength from somewhere. I'm just going to go home and watch Netflix.
Henry, I'd like to change my bet to Willie getting on the piss for $50 at 4 million to 1.
Guys like Joey and Wendell and all that sort of old sort of crew were all on the same sort of circuit. So it's like, it's inevitable.
Sounds quiet.
I'll give myself one day.
One day.
One day.
Does that day go for 72 hours?
That day goes till Monday.
New South Wales and Queensland. New South Wales are favourites. Why? You know what? That's the Ruben Cotter effect. I reckon Ruben Cotter's a huge loss for them.
He was hammying on the weekend.
Yeah.
He's spewing, man.
I think he had a niggle, and then the niggle turned into a twiggle, and he went
tough
out. But I don't know about New South Wales being favourites. They start favourite every single game.
I think this team is better than game one.
It is better, but
it's better because look at that forward pack. You're picking, you know what I mean? I'm happy with that. Payne Haas, Coruscant, Jake Trbojevic, Murray, Liam Martin and Isaiah Yeo. Obviously, Appy's coming in for that combination with Cleary, Luai, Crichton on the right side. Liam Martin will play left back row. Still got Burton. Then you got Toto. It's like 8 players from Penrith. So we're going with just continuity and just like, you know, all these players playing with each other every single week, winning competitions, being successful. We're going for that. Combinations and just like that fluency through the ruck. I think we can give Isaiah Yeo a bit of a pass because he was fucking knocked out for 15 minutes. So his timing was a little bit off and everyone was like, oh, the lead runners are off. And I'm like, the lead runners were probably like at 100% and Isaiah Yeo's at 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his timing was off. He dropped the ball, like real uncharacteristic things because you never see Isaiah Yeo make a mistake.
No.
Let alone some couple of missed tackles and like a little bit, the timing was off with the lead runners to go at the back, all that sort of shit. That was because he was off.
The bunker doctor said he was sweet, they will.
Yeah, they're usually right, aren't they? I was looking at that, I went, oh my God, he's going to get fucking taken off, we're done.
Straight away.
And
let's talk about the new additions, right? We'll go through the New South Wales teams first. So the new additions, Matt Burton. Now that's probably a replacement for injury because Jack Whiten, you know, he got the spicy cough, and then we've got Coruscant starting and Cook on the bench. We both said that it looked like it was a good idea for Coruscant to come in at 80-minute hooker, so that's a good change. Trbojevic had to be there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no question Trbojevic had to be there. And for anyone who's saying, oh, he hasn't made a break, he's not there to make breaks. He's there to shore your middle up.
So, like, snap Munster. When Munster's coming across field, do you reckon he misses him like Madison did?
Oh, no.
Not a chance. He wouldn't have missed him the first time. So the thing is, that's what they're going for. They're going for, like, back to origin players. When we said it at game one, I was scared that we didn't pick out. The first game is so important. You got to pick vets. You know what I mean? Like, you're letting, you know, we've already spoken, we reviewed the first game about, you know, Carrigan and Cotter and all these guys running massive meters on us and looking like absolute vets against us. Now we're picking guys who just can do the job. Everyone who played in the middle in that first game is just looking for redemption.
Yeah, for sure.
They're so angry. So this game, I'm thinking we'll get Queensland. I couldn't be more confident in the team that we've picked and how we've picked it, because the plan would be just similar to what Queensland did to us. Ben Hunt come out, he was running around, and then he had good combinations with Tino and all that kind of stuff. And then, what are we doing?
Well, the dog, but so just to keep everybody, my dog he's been really good the last few weeks, and now he's barking at the front door. I think he might need to do a poo. We'll just open the door and we'll let him out. You know, and this is what's the great thing about my dog. Just when you think that he's behaving himself, he comes in and just destroys things.
It's good.
I love
That's
him.
what dogs do. So I think that's what their plan is. Appy, set the tone in defence, get the boys running through the middle, good angles, Isaiah Yo playing with, like good shape, all this kind of stuff. Get Payne Haas running hard, nice and solid. Cam Murray, quick play the balls. Payne Haas, quick play the balls. Get through the ruck, burn the ruck, and then bang, put Cook on for the last 15 minutes. If you put Cook and Paulo on in the last 15 minutes, like that's their plan, like they did to us. Do you know what I mean? Like they're going to try, and we're going to try and just blast their ruck, and then look at the quality outside, and then rely on Cleary being on. Teddy's always on. Rely on Luai being on. Rely on our brilliance. But our middles have got to take accountability for that loss in the first game.
What do you think that the addition of Talakai brings to this side? Because it's probably out of the other. Crichton's been there, done that. Trebojevic been there, done that. Coruscant has definitely,
he's played.
he's played enough to be there. But the Talakai one, Talakai had that game where Morgan Harper, was
He nearly ruined his career.
But explain to me why you think Talakai's been picked.
Well, I would only think, because I don't think he's going to come into the back line. He might be that sort of safety blanket if a back does get injured, but you're not going to wait for a back to get injured if you've got a person like Talakai on the bench.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's probably the hardest one I'm looking at, Crichton or Talakai. Who do you pick? I'm still going to pick Crichton because he's played there before, and I think he's a beast at Origin. Then I'm picking Victor Radley. That's my guy. That's who I want to be out there, because he'll change the game again. He can still ball play. He hits like a truck, runs really good, fit as hell. Everyone's not worried about his fitness. He's one of those guys who can just turn up the fitness and blitz the shit out of everyone after being injured for 2 years. He's got that sort of motor. I wouldn't be worried about his motor in Origin.
No.
Give me 10 minutes, Victor. Finish the first half off, and then set the tone in the second half.
Yeah, and then come off.
There's 25 minutes there. Just give me everything you got. And he doesn't get that opportunity at the Roosters.
No,
he just gets 80 minutes in the middle. You know how many times you got to pace yourself, and he doesn't know how to do that. Imagine you just said, you give me 30 minutes of your best football. I'm fucking scared if I was Queensland.
Yeah.
You think Carrigan's going to run 190 metres? No. He's going to be under Big Papa. He's going to be under Tino. Big guys don't like getting hit by guys like that. I'd rather be running at Tino, and I'd rather be running a big, maybe not Papa, but like bigger guys. You know what I mean?
Because he's going straight at you.
Because it's mainly
straight
all made
low.
upper body work. Victor hits you in the guts. He hits you around here, like same as Jake Trebojevic. They're so effective, and same as Cam Murray. They hit you in spots where big guys, you pop the ball out. Could be a little bit dewy over there. The ball could be gone, but you get hit and you stay hit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where Talakai, maybe his plan is start Appy Coruscant, and then you put Paulo, Cook, and Talakai on, and just run through the ruck. You know what I mean? For that last 15 minutes, if we get the ascendancy in the middle, and then you put Cook on and we blast the ruck. Offloads, second phase, Tedesco, Luai, Cleary, everybody on. You know what I mean? And then start it with that second half as well. So you got a decent pack, because he could play lock. You know what I mean? Like he could play like anywhere in the back, just your front row. You're just in the middle, Talakai. You might bring Jakey off. You might bring someone off and just go bang. And he's quite fit. He plays decent minutes in the middle, Talakai. So I think that might be his plan, Freddie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can't think of anything else. You can't leave. You can't wait for
You're not gonna put him
for
in the
an
centres
outside
again.
back to get injured. I just don't think he'll do that. I just think he's a big body. He hits hard. He can play in the middle. He can play on an edge. He can just play. So I don't think you're going to use him as that little ace up your sleeve, and then not like use him in the last 20 minutes. No, I'm going to use that kid in the first bit. I want him to come on, just bang off the 9. He loves contact. He loves that shit. He's only playing in the centres because of injuries.
Yeah.
It's usually a back rower.
And they're using him like a battering ram anyway,
Yeah,
Cronulla. Like
yeah, exactly.
he takes those second hit ups.
Can you imagine if you change his mindset? You're in the middle for 10 or 15 minutes. Give me everything you got.
Yeah.
He's explosive. He has that in him. So that would be Freddie's idea. Freddie's not looking at him play left centre just because he smoked Harper in 10 weeks ago. You're not looking at that. You're just looking at his body of work and how he runs and how he hits. And he's got a little bit of foot in him.
Well, here's the thing, Will. Because there's two schools of thought with this. So Fittler has obviously made a lot of changes, some forced, some not. So you would assume that what that means is that he potentially thinks that he got the first team wrong, or that, you know.
course.
So people are like, oh, he's made all these changes. But surely as a coach, if you've, like, what's he supposed to just pick the right side, the same side, and then give him another chance? Like, if he loses this game, he loses the series.
This is the most important game Freddie's faced in his whole career.
Yeah, for sure.
This is and I'm glad Freddie made these changes because it takes a man to go, you know what? I might have fucked up with selections in that first game. I'll go back. I'll get Trebojevic back in. I'll bring Crichton back in. We can all say, you should have done that in the first game. He fucking didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's making up for it because game 2, everything is on the line now. So he's picked players that will put everything on the line. So I give nothing but credit to Freddie and Bedsy and Brandy for going, you know what, we might have stuffed up with Madison and Campbell Gillard and all these blokes. We should have picked some proper vets in the middle, toughen that middle up. We go again. We give Cook a bit of a rest because he plays 80 minutes every single game, every Origin that he's played in the last 3 or 4 years. Let's mix it up a bit because he probably would have saw everyone's going, this copying off Ben Hunt and Grant. Yeah, well, it works. It does work if everything goes good.
Yeah. And
if I have Cook, if you've got Cook and Appy and Grant, they're the top 3 hookers in the game at the moment. So we've got 2 of them. It'd be stupid not to use 2 of them, especially how they play. How Appy plays, he's a bit more of a traditional hooker. You know, he comes out, he plays with his forwards, he engages markers, he's got that skill set. So that beautiful combination with Cleary and Isaiah Yeo. The timing is so critical in Origin. And then bang, get on Cook and just don't even think, just fucking run.
Yeah.
Mark it down, run. Payne Haas, split them in half. You know what I mean? Junior Paulo, run as hard as you can. You know what I mean? Like Jake, run as hard as you can. He's picked the right players.
For
you know
that
what I mean?
game.
For this game. And then if they do the job, obviously pick them again.
Yeah.
Because our back 3 last week, first game, Teddy, Toto and Tupou,
They were all good.
making 600 metres.
Yeah, they were good.
So they're all right. Burton on that left edge, it's all about combinations. You're going to have Liam Martin on that left edge. You got that whole, they don't have to think. Training it's like a training run for him. You don't have to worry if he likes it he likes an out ball, if he likes it like this and that, because you know what Burton brings. Liam Martin knows how he plays. Liam Martin was playing on that left edge a lot because Kickout was playing off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about combinations. And then you got more of a space just on that right side with Crichton, and you got Cam Murray. You know what I mean? Like, and Cleary's just got to steer the ship. You know, like you still got. I think we still win the series.
Yeah.
That's how confident I am in this team. This team. Not game 1.
Not the
this
game
team.
1 team.
We can still sit here and nitpick about Talakai and all this sort of stuff. But like, you know what? Fuck, it is what it is. If that dude comes out and just plays like an animal, like we think
Like
he should.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you'd rather him than Vic, if you're going to think Victor than him or Jordan McLean. No, and you don't think he's going fucking hearing all this noise?
Yeah.
Thinking people like they don't think I belong out here. If you're worth half your fucking salt, you'd be out there and you'd be terrorising Queensland.
Oh, I don't want to tackle him.
No,
so
right.
The Queensland side, there's been a couple of changes, mostly through injury. So Tuolangi's in because Xavier Coates, he's so good. He's so good.
What he's been doing, man, it's crazy.
And then they've also, which I think is the biggest loss for them, given the way he played in the first, was no Ruben Cotter. So they've started for Suamala Ali at lock. They've brought Collins up into the starting side, and they've brought Jai Arrow into the side. Jai Arrow and Cotter are different types of footballers, you know. And I think the way Cotter plays,
Jai Arrow's an Origin player, man.
He is, yeah.
And I swear to God, if Cotter played this game too, he would not have nowhere near the impact that he had in game 1.
No.
Neither will Carrigan, because the middles will hold themselves accountable, and so will Freddie and so will Bedsy. These guys won't even get over 100 metres. Because their heads will be on a platter, so to speak. Every time they get the ball, there'll be 3 in, and they will set that tone. They have to.
But who steps up? So Cotter made, 50-something tackles. Who steps up? Do they spread it around? Because they had just him planted in the middle, basically just tackling for 80 minutes.
Tino can play big minutes, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Tino does. I mean, like you still got Big Papa who played hardly any minutes. He played the first 16 minutes, then he played the back 6.
Yeah.
That's very weird. But that was only because they had so much ascendancy in the middle with Carrigan and all these other blokes, you know, like even Lindsay Collins played 35, 36 minutes. Played like a beast.
Yeah, quality.
Quality, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so all these guys, they're very one-dimensional, but they just ran harder. Where now it's our turn to do that. You know, we've got the team, we've picked the team. Freddie's got trust in these guys. The whole fucking New South Wales has relied on this team. I was just saying before, like you don't really understand the whole ripple effect of like New South Wales playing Origin. You just think, when you're younger, you just play, I'm playing Origin. But then you get these old vets coming in going, and realise, it's not about you, it's about your family and your kids and the kids going to school saying they got beat. Like the Queenslanders like saying, like teasing your son and this and that, and your mum's getting teased and your dad and your brothers and everything. Like, I'm like, fuck. Shut up. I thought it was just about me. I'm just going to get out there and you just, because you got to hone in and just say, look, you just got to worry about your job. But you start worrying about that other shit about a kid going to school the next day copping shit. Fuck that. I don't care. You know what I mean? You just worry about your job. But like once you understand that, you're like, oh, fuck, don't tell me that. Because you understand, me standing outside in now, looking, I'm like, I know how big the magnitude of Origin is. We lose, it sucks.
Yeah.
Ruined. Everyone's, oh my God, Origin's over. You know what I mean? Like then everyone wants that Suncorp decider. I reckon everyone is going, thank fuck Queensland won game 1 because I reckon we get game 2 series over.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon people were thinking. Please get game 1 because I reckon we'll get game 2. Then we can go Suncorp and see what happens because everybody wants that. The viewers want it. Everybody, it's all about the views. All about that money. Suncorp, home of Origin, all that sort of shit. I know how the game works now. You know what I mean? It's all about bums on seats, going to be sold out, all that sort of shit. But you want a decider at Suncorp. That's what everyone wants. You know that?
Yeah.
Last year, it was a dead rubber, and it was still crazy. Can you imagine a game up there? We haven't had a decider at Suncorp for years.
No.
The game wants it. The game is sitting there, like just say the NRL and everything, just going, you better win, New South Wales. You better win. We might get those little 50-50 calls. That happens, apparently.
Apparently. Hear that, Queensland? Run dead. Run dead so that we can have a decider.
I just know what the game wants. You know what I mean? The game wants a decider at Suncorp. I want a decider at Suncorp. So do you. Everyone wants that decider.
Yeah.
I don't want a dead rubber.
No.
Especially the sides that we have. They're pretty even, but we should win.
So, where is this game won and lost?
In the middle.
In the middle?
Same as last game. In the middle. We lost it in the middle. And then that showed quality, like from Munster, he started showing up. Ponga started showing up because it started decimating our middles. We weren't making any ascendancy through the middle. We weren't making big yards. There was no offloads, no second phase, nothing like we have been doing the last 3 or 4 years. So then, Cleary's direction, Luai's and all these combinations around that they can flurry, but it goes off their middles. Like, Junior Paulo's got a big job. Like, Payne Haas has a massive job. He's our man.
Yeah.
He's our best forward. He's the best front rower in the world. You know what I mean? Like I need nearly a MOM performance from him. That's what I'm looking forward to. And that's what I'll see. I don't think we'll see Cleary or Luai being their man of the match. This game will be won in the forwards because I know every single middle for New South Wales would be pissed off and embarrassed and they want that another crack at Queensland. Junior Paulo's got that. He's got that chance. Liam Martin, Cameron Murray, Isaiah Yeo, Payne Haas. They got that second chance that Tarek Sims would love, that Campbell Gillard would love, like that Madison would love. You know what I mean?
The flow-on effect as well is if the forwards are going well, then Cleary's going to run off the back of it.
And it activates Cook.
It's hard to, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we've got quality players. So do Queensland. But I'm like, I think we're a better side than Queensland. I'm like, I can understand. I played against Queensland sides. I'm like, we're not better than these guys. We would have to be like a 10 out of 10. Every single one of us in Queensland would have to be down for us to get this series. That's how like you understand what sides are better. Where I think at the moment we're just a little bit better. You throw Turbo and Latrell in there, which they're not, then then I can actually say we are way better. But it evens up now. And we stuffed up defensively. We've already been through it. Where Ponga went short side, was man on man. When DCE slide, like Tarek slides too much. There's no inside support. Like 2 tries, like they weren't Origin tries.
No,
you know what I mean? Like they're training tries. So you think their defense is going to be a lot more stout, and I just think we have that caliber of player. You give them this opportunity, they want this opportunity, they're going to grab it and go, give it here. The Cam Murrays and all these, they want this opportunity. As a player, you want this shit. You want to go over there and fucking take Queensland on. Then you want to go up to Suncorp and you want to beat them in the fucking home ground.
Yeah.
That's what dreams are made of. And they got an opportunity to do this. And I know Freddie's echoing the same things that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So's Brandy, so's Bedsy, so's Fitzy. They're all in there. Got an opportunity to make some really good history here.
When you did that Canterbury thing, when they did the gap before the game and you were talking about, I really like that. That was another one. Well,
was
you
it?
just did that. That was
Okay.
good. I want to play now. I'm just old and fat. So, just quick prediction: New South Wales to win.
13 plus.
Man of the match. Payne Haas.
Yeah, Payne Haas. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to. One of the middles.
All right. I'm going to say New South Wales 1-12. Man of the match will be
I'm biased.
Damien Cook.
Yeah, Damien Cook off
Yeah,
the bench.
Off the bench.
It's big.
No, he won't really be.
Yeah, who do you reckon? Who do you reckon? Just say.
I'm gonna say man of the match has to be one of the forwards. So I don't want to say Pan. He comes Wookie. Welcome
Leave
back.
him
We
in
had
the
to send
shot.
him out.
Leave him in the shot.
Well, I'm gonna say man of the match to Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah, fair play. I think it's going to be a middle. Big boys. Fuck that one.
Willie's Big Boys.
Oh, the big boys were at it again. I actually watched, the KO minis.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I caught up on all the footy. I was like, who played here? It was Sharks Titans. It was,
wow, you did, bro.
I did, yeah, I did. So that was on Monday. I was like, what am I going to do? I was sitting there just hungover going, fuck, I've got to watch all these games.
We will talk about this after the show, will you?
Yeah. And then, so I watched the St. George and the South game. Sober, I did watch that game because that was the Thursday night game, right?
Yep.
All right, so my party did start on Friday.
Yeah, you were fine Thursday.
Yeah, so I was fine Thursday, and I just watched that big Blake Laurie just going, like the big man made over 200 metres, like 20 touches. And I was just happy for him because he is a big boy, but he just hasn't been on the board because St. George has just been sucking. So he gets my 1 point.
Can you read them out in the correct order?
You got to understand, people at home, when I put these things down on our group text, I just put them just randomly. It could be 2, 3, and 1. And Ian must have OCD, does his head in.
Does my head in.
2 points, Junior Paulo against the Roosters. I'm just simply going off who they played, the magnitude of the game, because the Roosters were up for this. Junior Paulo's probably pissed off from his performance in Origin. Come out, took it out on the Roosters. I think it was something like 220 metres, 60-something minutes played in the middle. Same as Laurie. I think Laurie played 60 minutes, really big minutes for these big boys. So he can have 2 votes. 3 votes, Taumalolo against Manly. Did you watch that game?
No.
I watched the mini version. Anyway, so he's back to his best. If anyone starts questioning that guy and his relationship with Todd Payton is an idiot. Obviously, they had a few injuries and everything last year, and Taumalolo was just your best ability is availability. I always say that. And he was playing busted, broken hand, hamstrings, all that sort of shit. Obviously had a full preseason. He's back to averaging 190 metres a game. So he was back at his best. And just the way they won at Brookvale was one of the best wins of the year. So you need to watch that. So 3 points goes to Jason Taumalolo. So our leaderboard at the moment is in 3rd place, Campbell Gillard, Talakai Payne Haas all on 8 points. 2nd, Fisher Harris and Junior Paulo on 10. And guess who's back? Jason Taumalolo in the lead outright on 12 points. So in the last couple of years when we've been doing this, I mean, he was injured a couple of times because he would have been this Billy's big boy of the year for about 6 years running. Because thank fuck he's back. The big man's back.
All right. Well, the betting. Do you know what?
I would have got way more.
You would have got way more.
No, I thought, Angus Crichton anytime try scorer and New South Wales 13 plus.
Oh, let's just go straight to yours then, should we?
Yeah.
Hey?
All right.
Read out your
Was
bet
that
then.
mine?
Hey? Let's go.
It's just written there. Sorry.
Go on.
I should add more. Damn it. Because I didn't realise all the other teams were playing, all the whole rep round.
Do you want to do something else? Quick.
I would
and we'll
like
work it
to.
out. Yeah, go on.
I would
We can
like
do
to
whatever we
put
want.
Tonga 1-12.
Yep.
And Cobbo anytime try scorer.
All right. There we go.
Still New South Wales 13 plus and Angus Crichton anytime try scorer.
All right. So we'll find out what that is. It'll be a lot again because
At least it'll be a lot.
it'll be a lot.
What if that just wins the one that I won?
Cobbo won't score and Tonga won't win. And then these two will get up and we've just dumped $500. That's all right. We've won 919. We're almost at 1,000. So New Zealand, Samoa to cover 31.5. I love the Cook Islands, but I feel that's going to be a carve up that game. Fiji to beat Papua New Guinea with about 17 injuries, and New South Wales to win 1-12. That is paying $8.22.
That's solid.
Which I quite like that bet.
Hang on, the producer.
Mate, honestly.
What is this?
Have a look at this one.
Sri Lanka. What is he talking, cricket?
Cricket, yep. So
Or rugby league.
New South Wales Women's Rugby League State of Origin side. The Giants netball, Fiji, New South Wales in the Origin. And this is a good one. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Australis. Do you know what Australis is? It's a video game player that's playing in... What's it called, Henry?
Henry, is this yours?
No, it's not mine.
It's the producer.
League of Legends.
He's
He's lost his shit.
He's lost
I
it.
thought that was just you just stuffing up your spelling.
I thought Australia.
Oh, yeah, it's Australia's.
They're not even playing. Australis.
Australis.
Isn't that a makeup company? I don't know what's
so.
going on.
Henry would know.
So that is paying $56.04. But I don't know. How do you even look that up? What's Australis? Has he put that bet
What
on?
is it, Henry? What's Australis? Is it a game? Gaming?
European League of Legends team.
Is it like Ronaldinho on that plane in it?
Nah.
No.
It's-
Is it soccer or what was it?
Video games.
A video fucking game.
It's a video game.
Oh my God, we've sunk low.
Low.
Biggest video game in the world.
Yeah, I know. They play Fortnite and shit. Is that right? They got around 20 mil the other year.
Well, yeah, League of Legends gets more viewership than like everything except
Not Origin.
World Cup. Nah, it does.
No, no, not.
China loves it.
China loves Origin too.
China's
Can't get
massive
enough.
in Origin.
Indians love Origin.
That's
All the big countries.
How much?
162.50.
Yeah, that's all right. It's doable.
What is Australis?
No, he's.
Oh, here's 162.50. There you go. All right. So I can't believe we're betting on video games. That's how bad this year has been for us on the punt.
So so Australis is a person, or is it
5 players.
Oh, it's a
who are
team.
called Australis?
Yeah.
It's a team.
Yeah, it's 10.
Wow.
I feel dumber just listening to this. So in terms of the tips, William, we've all
I
gone
should be a gamer.
New South
We
Wales.
should join our own team.
League of
The
Legends.
take. We
The
should go into it next year.
We
We
should.
would be awful.
Let's go to the Twitter questions. There's been a lot of action here. Why is there so much action here?
Because you've been on fire on Twitter. That's why.
Oh, because Guru. Hello,
Eric
Eric. Eric has retweeted, and then he's asked a question too. We'll get to Guru's question in a second.
Please.
All right. So, William, what's your favourite rivalry in the NRL and all sports?
Oh my God. All sports. I said this. Didn't I say this a couple of weeks ago? I like Celtics and Lakers.
That'll do, because there's a lot of these now.
Yeah.
How do you rank the international teams? Oh, that's Brad Boucher.
Boucher.
Bobby Boucher, he's back. How do you rate the international teams on the weekend? Any we should put a bet on for the Rugby League World Cup?
I think Tonga would be in the final for the World Cup because I think they'll be better in a World Cup system so they can warm up into games. I don't think these one-off tests worry me because it's all about combinations, and I don't think we have that many combinations. We have some really good individual players, but as I said, like New Zealand have better combinations because they play club level all the time, all that kind of stuff. We've got really great individual players, but we need to collectively come in as a team, and I think that'll take 4 to 6 weeks, and that's what a World Cup does. So I think Tonga will be hard to beat. What was the other question?
That was it. Who do you rank, I think? So Christian Wolf reportedly next in line for the Bulldogs head coach. I haven't heard that. Have you heard that?
That's bullshit.
That's not happening. What are your thoughts on that? His thoughts are it's not happening. Oh, Adelaide Ram guy's back. Do you have a collection of jerseys and memorabilia? And if so, what's your favourite or most obscure
I
thing?
do have a heap of jerseys. I'm just not one of those blokes who hangs memorabilia up. So
Should see your house. It's just riddled with photos of yourself. It's
yeah, exactly. There's nothing.
Wallpaper's just...
I've swapped jerseys with Sonny Bill, Greg Inglis, Darren Lockyer, Cam Smith, JT, Andrew Johns, Roy Asatasi, Jared Hayne, Mark Gaznia, Matt Cooper. Cam Smith, like JT, Bill, everyone. So I made sure when I was playing, I knew I'm getting Greggy's jersey, I'm getting Lockyer's jersey. So the amount of jerseys that I do have that I've swapped is fucking ridiculous. Favourite one? I don't know.
What's your most obscure? Have you got
What's obscure?
like weird, random?
Mick Neal signed jersey, grand final jersey.
I wish you had that. Dan J wants to know if the Dogs make the 8, will you grow a fro? One last
Not
time.
a chance.
Do you reckon you still could though?
Easy.
You definitely
A
could.
haircut once a week.
So here's Eric Growth Jr. Should Fred have picked
Is this a decent question?
Josh Addo-Carr? It's actually him being serious, which is
I can't
quite
handle it.
strange. I don't know what to do with this. And do you think he didn't because everyone said he should? Pumped for game 2, decided for the Blues. What did someone hacked into his account and asked a serious question?
They've hacked him. I honestly think Fox deserves to be in the Origin series, but I understand how he's picked Tupou. I would just pick Fox simply because of his energy on kick chases. And everything that he does is always at 100%, where Tupou has that different sort of, very Cumberson sort of running and all that kind of stuff. Like him coming out of yardage just is quite good. Like he made over 200 metres. But Fox's little efforts like on little kicks and that, and he doesn't really make that many mistakes. Like when they went short side, when Ponga went short side, like I reckon Fox is intercepting that and taking it to the house.
Yeah.
I honestly do, because I reckon he'd be looking at Ponga going, throw that ball, because once Cleary made his decision to come in, he would have come in, sat on that bit, and it would have had to be a great ball to reach Val Holmes. He would have been sitting there waiting, and he would have snatched it, and I reckon he would have went to the house. That's the difference. Little plays like that, where Tupou just defensively he's quite good, but like little things where Fox, I think he just has a little bit more energy.
Cooper Ireland wants to know top 8 prediction.
Top 8, fucking hell. I don't even know
Well, there's
top
6.
4.
There's six that are already in. I think they've decided. So then it's out of the Dragons, the Roosters, the Rabbits. Rabbits.
Yeah, I think the Roosters and Rabbits. I don't think anyone's going to come out the bottom 8. It's very, win 2, lose 5, win 3, lose 3. It's all that kind of very inconsistent. That's the difference between bottom teams and top teams. They don't really lose, 2 or 3 in a row.
Here's one. I think Trident. He says Roger Tuivasa-Sheck made the All Blacks after just 10 games of Union. Name any Union player that would have the ability to play for the Kangaroos after 10 games of league. He obviously hates Union, this bloke.
I don't know. If Artie Sevilla decided to want to play for Australia, I don't think you'd be too far off.
Yeah.
Maybe a gun left side back rower. Most of their forwards you'd see. I think Artie's probably the only one. They're outside backs. They're still building the All Blacks, so I can't really name them all. I just say 10 years ago, I could name like 10 of them.
No, but he's saying Kangaroos, so you couldn't even name one Australian player. Tupou.
Oh, you think Wallabies into...
Yeah,
what
into
do you
the
mean?
Kangaroos. Any Wallabies into the
I
Kangaroos.
wouldn't name one.
There you go. See?
I wouldn't even know one.
That's what I mean. I just answered that for
Yeah.
you. Trident. I feel like you're all having a crack at my spot. That's all right. All right. That's
What
it.
about you? Would you put anyone in?
Not one player.
Exactly.
Anyway.
That's what I said, Artie Sevilla.
Yeah. Well, it's a fair question because you go straight to the best side in the world.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he could.
The All
When
Blacks are the
they
best
were
side in the
talking
world.
about like in the preseason, he said that he wouldn't mind having a crack, and I said, yeah, he could have a decent crack.
He'd be good.
Stay in Union, but play all around the world. Enjoy
37.
yourself.
Get paid a fortune. Don't get bashed. Well, that's it. That is the end of the show.
Rate and review, masonstake.com.
You don't even need the thing anymore. You just read it out, eh?
That's it.
Professional.
Bet.
Well, enjoy
Woogie.
enjoy Perth, William,
Thank
for
you.
your no
I'll
beers.
try. Non-alcoholic
Bye.
beers.
Oh, please.
They'll be following Willie more and more. Back in the NRL is Willie Mason.
I've forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie had the Panthers looking at his imposing frame.
I'm a 25-minute man. Plus. Oh, you got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
You've been listening to The Take with Willie Mason and co-host Ian Byrne. Produced by Craig Trewick, recorded and engineered by Zig Parker of Green Room Sydney, and presented by the Handshake Media Network.